Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live session with Ola Doctor. And today we are with our very best financial coach, Lamont Johnson. Lamont Johnson, which today we're gonna be touching another complicating topic for most of us, because it's about taxes. How to make a tax planning, how to build your personal finances, and how to do it correctly. How are you, Lamont?
Doing great, Irvin. Thank you. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's been the tax season already passed, but we already have to another year is coming, and we gotta be prepared, and we gotta start planning our tax future, and we're gonna do it with you. What do you think about the tax topic?
Fantastic.
Is it an issue for everyone or not for you?
Yeah, well, let me just start off, Irvin, by saying I am not a tax professional. For specific guidance, you're gonna have to go to your tax professional. My job is to educate you on some strategies from a tax perspective that you can take to your tax professional and implement to help you and your family out. So there's two parts to it, right? There's one, how you position yourself to do better. That's what we're going to talk about today. And then you need the execution part, which is what your CPA or your accountant can do for you. So I just want to get that out there before we start. We're going to talk strategy today.
Awesome. Before we start, because we have a lot of questions about it, and we're gonna solve them now, all of them. So let's start, Lamont. What do you have for us? Let's fire up.
So if you go to the first slide,
Let's go.
before you get into taxes, you want to talk about how is income earned. And this is so important because so many people in society today are earning income one way, right? The way that's most popular, which is you go to school and you get a job, you become an employee, right? But what I've learned and what I teach my clients is that income could be generated in multiple ways. And the people who actually master this actually get ahead in life when it comes to quality of life.
Yeah.
Because if you look at this diagram is life-changing. It tells you exactly the 4 ways that you can earn cash flow. And depending on what side you are, on the left side of this diagram or the right, it'll tell you how much money is actually staying with you at the end of the day. Because that's what we all work for, right?
Yeah,
we
to
all
earn more
work
money.
really hard. That's right. We work really hard so that we can use some money to get the quality of life that we want, right? Money's just the tool. So the more we know about how money comes in and what to do with money, we can give our family that empowerment, that peace of mind, and that freedom. So if you look at these quadrants, there's 4 sections here. The first section is the E section. What do you see there, Irving?
It's for let me see. What is it about?
It's the employee section. You see the
Employee
E there,
section.
the top left? The top left?
Constant. I'll say employee section could be like constant income.
Right. It is constant income, but you got to remember how you're earning it.
Yeah.
You're trading time. You're trading time for money,
Yeah.
right? To make money as an employee, they usually pay you for your time. And as we all know, there's only a set amount of hours per day.
Time is
So
money.
usually that's right. Usually people in this quadrant, have to risk a lot of life because they earn more money with their time.
Okay.
Okay. But it's about their effort, right? Their actual active effort makes money for them. So they got to go out and get it, right? Whereas people who are in the S quadrant or self-employed, these are more like your specialists or professionals, doctors, lawyers, CPAs. They basically said, I have a skill. I can help people with this skill. So they started their own business. They're self-employed.
Yeah.
They're self-employed, right? Which is very interesting because it's not until you get into self-employment that you realize that business has a lot of different facets to it, right? It's not just serving the clients, but it's marketing, it's administrative work, it's dealing with people, right? So what they do, most people in this quadrant who earn income this way is they trade life for money.
Yeah.
right? Because now after all of that work all day making some money, you got to go and market the business. You got to go and do payroll and things of that nature.
It
So
takes
on the left
two words.
side,
Yeah.
people need to be aware of this, right? On the left side, the E and the S quadrant, you have no leverage. And what is leverage? Leverage is when you could use a resource or a tool to get your desired result, right? In the E quadrant and the S quadrant, everything is based on you, all on you. And not to mention the E quadrant and the S quadrant, when it comes to taxation, they're the two highest tax
oh my God.
tax buckets out.
Really?
Okay, the two highest. The two highest is the E and the S.
Well, as a self-employee, I know that you get to pay more. But I didn't know as an employee you pay more as well.
Yeah, you know, depending on the salary, depending on the income, the more income you make, the more taxes they take out as an employee.
Okay.
And in the S quadrant, depending on how you structure your business, a lot of the taxes fall through and pass through to you. Your income passes through to you. So you even might be even paying a little bit more depending on, you know, how your business is doing. So what we want to teach people is how to get to the right side of this quadrant, right? The right side is the B and the I sections of this diagram here.
What is the B for?
The B section, business owner.
I know.
What separates a business owner from self-employed? A business owner has employees, right? A business owner has employees. These are companies typically with a few hundred employees. That's when you know you're in serious business, right? And what they do is to make money is the employees work and the business owner makes money.
I know.
Because now they got more 24 hours of activity. Their business is operating more because they got more people working with them. Okay? And because they're in this section, when it comes to taxation, because they're earning income like this,
there are more
when it
ways
comes
to
to taxation,
tax.
they get tremendous benefits.
Yeah.
Tremendous benefits.
Yeah.
Okay? And then what they do is after they make money, they go into the I quadrant, which is the investor quadrant. This is when your money starts making money for you, investments and things of that nature. Okay? So if you look at the right side of earning income, the B and the I side, these are two sections that don't depend on the business owner's effort. They're either using other people to make money as employees and a system, or they put money to invest and make more money as an investor.
Can I be an investment if I am self-employed?
Yes, you can go from E to I. You can definitely do that. And what I'm glad you said that, because this is what I want people to understand. When it comes to income, that's all it is. It doesn't matter how you get it. It's what you do with it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the goal is freedom, right? How many people here want to be free? Free to spend time with their family. Everybody, right? So now you got to use in your head and you see how you can earn income. Where do you want to spend most of your time? Right? Now you know you can make income in different ways, right? Outside of employment or in addition to employment. Now you can say, you know what? I'm going to buy my freedom by switching how my family earns income.
Yeah.
And this is important, you know, so if you go to the next slide.
Maybe one person can start as a self-employed and then move to a business owner.
Correct. And it's all a process, right? And I'm going to tell you, it takes knowledge and growth. A lot of people try to go from one side to the other really fast, and they don't understand the development that it takes to do so. So, you know, I strongly suggest doing your research before you step into a new way of getting income, and just understand that nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect, right? You're going to have to go through some bumps. You're going to have to learn as you go, right? But at the end of the day, if you could do it the right way, you look at the left side where everything falls on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And then you look at the right side where you're using a system and your mind and your money to win. You know, there's a lot more benefits to be on the right side of the income quadrant.
How can people move from the left side to the right side?
it depends, right? So ultimately, I can tell you personally, I started out as an employee, as an executive at a company. And what I did was after work, part-time, I studied to become a professional, right? So I studied to get licensed. I studied the language that I'm speaking to you now about people and helping them with money. I studied these things. I started building my business little by little, helping clients, to the point came where it's like, okay, we need more time because our business is doing better than our employment financially.
Right. So the best
Right?
way
So,
to be a financial freedom or reach financial freedom, you say it would be to be like entrepreneur.
well, think about it this way, and now we're going to talk about it today as well. Entrepreneurship in this country has tremendous benefits.
Yeah.
Tremendous benefits, right? The government incentivizes entrepreneurship, and I'll discuss it a little more in detail later on in my presentation. But yes, business owners get a tremendous amount of support because they're creating opportunities and they're also solving problems, right? So the more people we have adding value to the world, the more people we have, helping others feed their families, you're gonna get that support. Yes, is there risk? Oh yeah,
Always.
tons of risk, right? Because not every business is successful. Many companies go out of business within 5 years. But, I always say this, everybody has a skill that they can solve a problem with either part-time or, looking at a more serious commitment from a time perspective. Because when you look at it, and I'll go over this as well, as a business owner, you get paid first, right? Profits versus wages. And we'll talk about that. If we go to the next slide, I'll show you what I mean.
Perfect. Let's go to it, and you're on it.
So before we go into what I just mentioned, you should know, depending on where your money currently is, right? So most people have employment. Most people have programs and benefits through that employment. And then you have business owners that have accounts as well, financial accounts. What you see here is that wherever you have your money gets taxed 3 ways. It's either being taxed right now, meaning that if you have money in the accounts you see right there, every time you grow money in that account, the government takes out taxes. They want taxes right
Immediately?
away. Correct. At the end of the year, you get a 1099. That's right.
Nice.
On the interest, on the money you earn, right? So what most people do is they go to what's called tax later, also known as tax deferred. These usually are your retirement accounts. And what does that mean in English? It means that instead of paying taxes in the beginning, you pay taxes later when you need money.
I don't like that.
Okay, so it helps you today to keep your taxes down.
Yeah.
But when you go to need that money, guess who's coming?
Uncle Sam.
That's right. Uncle Sam says, hey, you haven't paid me for 30 years or however long you've been saving. So now that you're 59 and a half years old, I need my cut, right? And depending on how much you have in that account, that's going to speak to how much money you have to pay in taxes. So this is where strategy comes into play. Do you want to reduce taxes today and keep more money today? Or do you want to pay taxes up front and later on down the road, or not pay taxes up front and later on down the road, work with whatever the tax code is, right? Another thing to keep in mind is, do we know what the tax code is going to be later? Do we know?
Yeah.
Do we know how much taxes are going to be?
No, we
right?
don't know.
And based on the economy, do you think taxes are going to go down or they're going to go up?
And I think it's a nightmare because you get an idea of how much you're saving, and at the end, you get a surprise and you might have a heart attack.
Yeah, think about it. If you have your money, if you have your entire life savings in tax later, let's say you grow your account to $1 million, and at that time you fall into a 30% tax bracket at age 59 and a half, 60. That's $300,000 coming out of your account.
I know.
How would you feel about that?
Pretty bad. And you know the example of how much has tax grown from the past 10 years?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because at the moment we're in some of the lowest tax
Oh my God.
brackets in history right now. And there's a lot of news going on as to how the government's going to fix our economy because the cost of living is the highest ever. So people are very worried about maybe another market crash. And it's very important to understand strategy and where your money is to make sure that you can keep more of it, especially when you need it.
Yeah.
So just something to consider. So the third way that you can position your money is in tax advantage accounts. And these accounts, you put the money into these accounts with money that's already been taxed. And when you make money inside of it, you keep it.
Oh my
right?
God.
So two programs that actually allow that.
Kind of like investment?
Roth IRA, right? Your Roth IRA, which is a retirement account, and the cash accumulation in your life insurance policy, in a permanent life insurance policy. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Is there good and bad? There's no good and bad. It's what effects it has on your family. Okay, so if your family's making a lot of income now, and you need to reduce that income today so you could keep more, maybe tax later. You want to put some money in tax later.
Yeah.
Right? Or if you worried that tax later, you might lose a lot of money in taxes later. You might want to go to tax advantage.
Okay.
Right? You might want to go to tax advantage. So people understand how to diversify when it comes to products, but we should all know how to diversify when it comes to taxation as well.
Any person can get any of these tax products?
Well, when you say any person, it's really about funding money, right?
Yeah.
You got to have money to put money away. But yes, for the most part, a lot of these accounts can be set up, either through a professional or through even your employer. Most employers right now offer 401ks, 403bs, and things of that nature. So yes, these are things that we actually help people set up.
Have you got experience of customers that put their money on the bad tax account and get a surprise?
Well, like I said, the accounts do what they do. The tax code's already written. So if the person didn't understand how their money is going to be taxed before they put the money into, that's one thing. But if you put your money in a 401k, it's going to get taxed later. You just know that, right? An IRA is going to get taxed later. So you got to prepare your life to understand that that's going to happen.
Do you help if I want to change from account?
Yeah, you can definitely, So what we do as a firm is we sit down and we do what's called a financial needs analysis.
Okay.
And that's important because I mentioned it before here, not everybody's situation is the same.
Yeah.
So for me to sit here and just talk to you like everything is applicable to you, that's the farthest from the truth. We won't know what benefits you and your family until we sit down with you and go over what your goals are and where you are financially. And then at that point, we could talk about the recommendations. You might have things in place that are working for you, depending on your goals, and you might have things that aren't working for you. But I strongly suggest to get an analysis with us to see where you're at.
That's awesome, Lamont. So we start saving from our future, from our children, for our scholarship, for our college. Is there ways to reduce taxation?
There are. So, you got to just understand the rules of the game, right? Understanding the rules is wherever you're saving, tax now, tax later, or some people call it tax never. Right? Tax now, tax later, tax never. How you want your money to grow? You see most wealthy Americans, they use a lot of tax advantage strategies.
Yeah.
Right? Because wealthy people make a lot of money, but they don't usually like to pay a lot of what? Right. Taxes. So you got to really understand, what type of account you're putting your money into, and understanding how does taxes impact it? Because taxes affects how much you keep.
Yeah.
And we know how life is. We have to have money all around. Yeah. Because nobody does anything for free, really.
No. No.
Okay, so if we go to the next slide.
Let's go.
Like I said before, ways to reduce taxation. I encourage everyone to really think about starting a business. And I'm not saying go purchase a big franchise and put your whole life savings on the deck, but something small, to get you in the habit of understanding how profits work. In this country, you got wages, which is what a job gives you, and then you have profits, which is what business gives you. And when it comes to profits, you earn profits first, deduct and expense anything that you did with that money to keep your business going, and then the government takes taxes out whatever's left over. That's profits. Wages, you work, taxes come out, but without you having any say so. And then you gotta live off the rest.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
wages. That's wages. Okay? So you wanna that's why I went over how to earn income first, because once you know how your income's coming in, you'll know if you're in a better situation to be able to reduce taxation legally.
Okay.
Okay? And like I mentioned before, the government incentivizes business owners. You go right now to SBA.gov, the Small Business Administration website. Tons of grants. They have loans. They have programs. They have support, because they're encouraging everybody to use their gifts.
Yeah.
Use your gifts to make some money for your family. I strongly encourage that. So that's one way to reduce taxation. Think about starting a business, even if it's small, right? It could be selling art, whatever it is. Obviously people want to do real estate, but you have to understand the language of the business that you're getting into. And that's why I say educate yourself, right? Or at least know enough about it where you can have a dialogue with people at a profitable level.
And you don't have to risk it all on the business. You can be an employee and start a business on the side, right, Lamont? That's a smart way.
I strongly suggest that. Because now, you have income coming in through your job. You can really grow your business organically without the pressure of just jumping in the pool right away, right? Without seeing if the water's hot or cold. So I strongly suggest stepping into business at least part-time, using some skills that you may have. And we have discussions with people around different ways to generate income, because we believe that if everybody had at least one way where profits are coming into their life, now you can control that. You may not necessarily be able to control your wages, because your employer may not be able to give you more money. But if you dedicate yourself, you can create profits for yourself and your family, and now you're winning the money game. Because whoever controls your income controls your life. That's just the bottom line.
And if you want to reduce the risk of losing money, or you gotta get advice from the experts like Lamont, so they can guide you. And right, Lamont, they can guide you the better way to start your business. And
this is what we love to do. I work with a lot of business owners, and we're helping them set up programs where, so right now the government is incentivizing business owners to set up retirement plans for their employees. They're giving them tax credits and things of that nature just for doing right by their employees. So we've been helping them with that. There's other programs that they can put in place to reduce taxation for their businesses around executive benefits and things of that nature. So, if you're a business owner on here already and you want to see how you can do better by your business, keep more money so your business could grow, I strongly suggest you reaching out and schedule a consultation, because there's a tremendous amount of benefits available to you that you may not be aware of.
If I want to start a business, do you also help me if I want to get a loan for buying a machine or buying something that I need for creating the business?
Yes, we have professionals that actually help people get revenue, right? Some depend on if your business has been in business already. Others depend on you building up your business credit, right? And we have professionals that can actually assist with that as well. So, it'd be a great idea to have a conversation around that.
Awesome, Lamont. So one way to reduce taxation is start a business. What's another way?
Yes. So if you go to the next slide, this is what I was speaking to earlier. You can set up your own retirement accounts outside of your job. I don't know if many people knew about this, but a lot of business clients understand this. And one is called a traditional IRA, right, which is an individual tax retirement account. And then another one's called a Roth IRA. And when you talk about a traditional IRA, this is something that it helps you reduce taxes today because it's a tax deferred program. Okay, so like I said, initially these accounts were made for people who made a lot of money as employees and they needed to reduce their annual income so they could pay less taxes. Okay, so if you want to reduce taxes today, a traditional IRA might be a benefit
and
for
obviously
you.
the employer is not gonna help you with that.
No, because this is something you do independent of them. You can actually have both, right? You can have a program through your job, 401k, 403b, TDA, and then you can go to an institution or work through a professional company, and we can help you set that up as well.
That's awesome.
Right? You control how the money works inside of it, picking the different assets. You know, it will be exposed to the stock market, but from a strategy perspective, you're reducing taxation today. So that might help you. Now that might not help you, right? Because you got to pay taxes later. So if you have a lot of money in these accounts, you got to start thinking of ways to diversify from taxes so that one bucket doesn't get depleted.
Yeah.
God forbid tax rates aren't working in your favor.
That's awesome. Well, it depends on what you need, the needs that you need, right?
That it's always your situation. A lot of times people get on the internet and they try to take advice from someone else, and that person doesn't know you. That person never sat with your family. They don't know what your goals and dreams are. They don't know what your current economic situation is. So if they're giving you an education without looking at you from doing an analysis first, I would strongly question that, because every person's financial situation is different.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like for example, when someone is
saying everything works, that's also not true.
Like someone's talking to you and I pay way less on taxes, but you don't know if they're gonna pay taxes at the end of it, right?
You don't know what they have in place, and you don't know if what they have in place is of value to you, because you may have another plan for your life.
Yeah.
You might have another vision. You might have another goal. So getting an analysis done is so important. You know, I can tell you it changed my life, and that's why I came into this industry, because nobody sat down with me and asked me what I want to do. What do you want life to look like? What do you want retirement to look like? You want to live here? You want to live in another country? You need a plan for that. And a lot of people aren't having these conversations. You know, I sit with clients all the time, and I'm like, how much money you think you're going to need to be able to stop working?
Yeah.
Everybody's so busy working that they don't even think about that number.
No.
But what if we could help you calculate that number? How would you feel?
I will feel like with a goal in mind. I have to, or like I'm more concentrated to reach that goal, maybe. You talk about it.
Imagine if
you talk about it earlier. Awareness.
Imagine when me and you first started working, Irvin, a professional sat with us and said, "Hey, Irvin, all right, so you want to live here in this country? You want this type of house? Okay, this is how much money you're gonna need." Yeah. So now when you go to work, you could say that's not enough money for what I want to do.
I know.
I might have to start a business. I might have to do some other things to earn income, because we're not tied to how the income comes in. We should be tied to just generating income, using our skills to generate income. And that's what I want everybody to take away from this today. If you're not in a situation where your income is serving you, think about other ways where you can help your family. Because listen, I got people delivering food right now, independent, earning more money than some of my friends in corporate America.
Yeah.
And ask me if they care that they deliver food. You know, some cultures will look at that like not a well-to-do profession, who cares? The income, they have a better quality of life than some people I know in corporate America.
Yeah.
So we got to change the way we think about earning income and think about how our lifestyle is being impacted.
Yeah, that's why we here strongly suggest do not compare yourself to others. Get an advice from the professional, and they let you know what you need and what you want, and they get a plan for you for what you want.
Exactly. So the second account that's on here is the Roth IRA. You can set this up on your own. So this is usually with money that you already pay taxes on.
Okay.
But the great thing is that when you go to use the money after age 59 and a half, you don't pay taxes on any of the monies that you earn. Okay. Now, what you should know about the two accounts, the traditional IRA has limits on how much you can contribute every year. Okay, so you guys can look this up. I did a little research for you. In 2022, the most you can put into it is $6,000. So if you want to reduce taxes more than that, you got to figure out another strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the second program, the Roth IRA, has limits on how much income you can make to qualify for the program. Okay, so you can't make above a certain amount. Did a little research for you. A single person can't make over 144,000 in income and qualify for a Roth IRA. They won't allow you. You make too much money.
Yeah, it all depends on how much you make.
Just some things to think about. Okay, just some things to keep in mind.
Yeah. So what's another way to reduce taxation, Lamont?
So this one is pretty powerful. It's been around for over 100 years, but many people don't realize that permanent life insurance has a savings component called cash value.
Cash value.
And this happens when you fund the program more than what the insurance costs. Right?
Okay.
So you pay into the program above whatever the insurance costs, and that goes into a savings bucket. Okay, and this savings bucket, the money goes in after taxes, so you can set it up on your own. The money grows tax deferred. You don't pay no money on the money that's growing. But when you go to take it out, when you take it out the right way, usually via the form of loans, you can access this money tax-free.
That's awesome.
Okay? And wealthy people use this benefit because they don't qualify for a Roth IRA. Right? The Roth IRA, you can't make more than $144,000 a year. So if you make more than that, where can you save your money and still take advantage of insurance? Okay? And obviously you have to qualify for this because life insurance has qualifications, right? Your health, criminal background, your age, driving record are just a few, right? But if you do get access to this type of program, a lot of people with significant amount of money in this country have been using this program in the same way they would use a bank. Okay, because this is actually where the banks put their money. You can do the research on that.
So there's people that qualify for this program and they don't know. They're being run on the tax account all the time.
Right. So think about it this way. If you have an account already, like a 401k that the government's going to take taxes out later, and you don't know what that tax bracket is going to be, okay, cool, you can keep that, but you can start another bucket like this one on your own, and now you got a bucket of money that, because it's under a certain tax code, when you access that money, is actually yours.
Yeah.
So now you could diversify in different programs to take a winning approach to keeping more money. Because that's all this conversation is about. How can you keep more money?
Yeah. And can this be for business owners, self-employees, employees, or what kind of persons on the quadrupling scale would you say it's more
Great
for?
Great question. So this is you can set this up for a human being after 2 weeks of birth.
Oh my God.
Yes. After 2 weeks of birth, some companies allow you to apply up until 80. But you gotta be careful with the age piece to it on the back end, because the strategic piece might not serve you, right? So if your time horizon is too short, this is more of a long-term savings program. So if your time horizon for needing that money is too soon, this may not be a strategy for you, which is why I always say get an analysis to find out what strategies can work for you, because these are just some types of strategies, but they may or may not work for certain people.
Can I have this account as an extra savings account on the side?
Yes, yes. So there's nothing wrong with having multiple products in your portfolio. Okay. There's nothing wrong with, yes, okay, if your job offers a program, you want to contribute to it, no problem. Obviously, learn how it works before you put money into it. A lot of people who put money into those programs don't understand how it works, and we could do a whole training on that. But yes, I would strongly suggest, thinking about your end result. Think about how you want your life to look. Okay, if you want to live on a beach, on an island, you're going to need X amount of money. If you want to be retired for 10, 20 years, you're going to need X amount of money because you're not working. So now money has to be coming to you. So where you save those monies is important, because that's going to affect how much of it you have access to when you need it.
Amazing. That's awesome, Lamont. It is it's a needed world, the tax issue, but we gotta learn how to live with it and how to take advantage of it as well. And that's why we have to learn from the best, get advice from the best, and get more information from you guys.
Yeah, listen, what we do professionally is we work with your tax professional. A lot of the tax professionals may not even understand these strategies, but it's always helpful when we explain it to them, because they go, oh, okay, and now they can match the rules to the strategy. And that's key. So if you have any CPAs listening to me now, any accountants, and you want to learn this part of, financial literacy, we'd be more than happy to speak to you about that, because ultimately it's two different languages, but they belong together, right? And I always tell people there's a couple of professionals that every human being needs, right? The first one is your attorney, and that's the person who keeps you out of jail, the legal person, right? The second person is a good CPA or accountant. That's the person that tells the IRS what you did with your money already. And then you need someone like myself, a financial professional, a planner, someone who understands the strategies. My team and I, we bring everybody together to make sure that your goals are met, right? So we can speak to people in their language to be able to help you get the best results.
That's amazing. And I hope this information can get to all the persons, because we all need a tax expert to tell us what to do and how to do it the right way and the best way for us. How about you give us your info? How can we contact you, Lamont?
Yes, so I'm on all social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. But look, you can call me directly. My number is 347-399-6015. Call me with your questions. Reach out. Don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed. It's okay. They're not teaching us this stuff in school, man. People pay thousands of dollars for a formal education, and nobody teaches them what to do with money.
I know.
And think about it. How long you think we're going to be using money? Our whole life.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it make sense to get educated on what to do with money? And my team and I would love to educate you on that value.
I really like what you say, which is money. It's a tool, and that's the best way to see money, because it's a tool to what you want and what do you need.
That's exactly what it is. A lot of people have an emotional connection to money. It's very hard to separate that.
Yeah.
But when you start looking at it as a resource, and then you just start thinking about, how can I make income? That's it. It makes no sense to have these prestigious titles and your quality of life is not good, right? The more you work, the more you have less to show for it. So if you sit back and you get with a professional and you come up with a plan and you say, hey, you're gonna need X dollars coming in when you stop working, how can we create that for you between your investments, between, maybe your business and even your employment? How can you put everything together? And that's really what it's about. We want to make sure that we put a holistic plan for you, so when you wake up every morning, you can go do it. There's no questions. Nobody can take you off the plan.
Yeah, that is all true. Thank you so much, Lamont. Thank you for your time and all the knowledge that you share with us. Any last advice you want to give to a person who is frustrated with the tax and they don't know how to handle it?
Well, obviously, reach out for some support. I always say we know as much as we know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're too proud to go and ask somebody who's a professional to help us, because we believe that they're not going to understand us. And I, me and my team, we take pride in meeting people where they're at. We've all been in places where things aren't going so well. But man, the power of having someone that understands that and has been through that and knows what it is to get out of that is words can't even describe it. So I just say don't be embarrassed about your situation. Everybody has to start somewhere. But the fact that you want to start, that's the biggest thing, right? You got so many people that have excuses, but in today's world, there's resources, there's help, right? So just don't feel alone. I strongly suggest that.
Thank you so much, Lamont. That's a great advice, and I hope everyone can get it. And thank you so much to everyone and the viewers, the supporters, and getting the live stream all the time. Remember that you can share this on Facebook. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and in YouTube as well. Remember to give us a like and be aware of the upcoming live events. I think we have an upcoming live event with you, but we'll keep you posted of when is it. I hope it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. I love, speaking to you. I love this audience. People are hungry for this information. We're just giving it. Hopefully, you take action with it, because wisdom is when you apply what you learn, right? You can watch all the information you want, but nothing changes until you do something about it. So allow us to help you. It'd be awesome to serve you.
Thank you, Lamont. And thanks again to everyone that stay on the live stream. And I hope we'll see you the next time. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a blessed day, everyone.
Blessed day. Bye-bye.